It's
live.
gonna.
You got to share.
No, I don't have to share. No, it just takes a couple of minutes for all the platforms to hook up. So, where are you at now? What part are you in? Washington, Oregon?
I am in Olympia, Washington, and actually, right now, I am at a property where Kurt Cobain had a music studio, or it was a music studio. I don't know if it was his or he was just here, but
Really?
that's part of the. Yeah, it's very wooded, and it's not raining at the moment.
Is it like a park or like
No,
a?
it's just somebody's property. It's 3.5 acres in
Oh wow.
Olympia, kind of rural, not really rural, but yeah. So it's a potential. I'm in limbo in between places, just trying to figure out where I'm going to land.
Maybe you're supposed to land in motion all the time.
No,
No, no. You had enough of that, right?
bro, I've been mobile since 2015.
Yeah.
I'm ready for some solid ground, at least temporarily. But it's funny. I'm going to get this out. What I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to share with you. Hang on, I'll do that. So, what takes 2 minutes?
They're coming in now. There's 22 people in the house. They're starting to come in. So that's your house on wheels. Very cool.
Yeah.
I remember when you first got it. We did a show and you just had some lights strung up and there
I
wasn't a whole
wasn't
lot
even
going
in
on.
it yet. Oh yeah, the third show we did, I was in it.
Hmm.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, it's moved around. It's still not built out. I call it the no build.
Are you still are you traveling alone?
Yeah. Indeedy. Well, I'm not traveling. I'm hanging out in Washington right now.
Yeah.
I was about to travel because it's the rains are here and the bus leaks and there's mold showing up in places. So I would like to go to a dry place, and work on the bus, but where, who, what? So we'll see what shows up. We'll
You could
just see.
always go to Sedona or Sedona area.
It snows in Sedona. It's not. It's high desert, so it gets really cold in Sedona. I found that out the hard way. Uh,
Uh, Marion Grace just moved to Washington. She just said.
well, it's funny. I was guided to. So this is not on my page live either, is it? It's just your page.
I can tag you on it. Let me tag you on it.
Sure.
Yeah, that way you don't have to share it. It'll just show up. So what's been happening? What's been going on? You've been out and about since 2015.
All right. Well, we really haven't talked since 2018, right?
No, I
I
saw
mean, not.
you in 2019. I saw you in the flesh. Me and Morgan
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
in
Yes.
in Yelm, Washington.
Right. Yeah, there were some things going on then. Well, so when COVID happened, first, can I just get my drum?
Do whatever you want. I'm still setting up. We're good.
Can you hear that?
Yeah. Here, we'll get a bigger picture so we can see more of the band. There we go. So what's happening? The place looks magnificent.
It's funny. People come on the bus and they're like, I want to do bus interviews. Everybody, I have the most amazing conversations in here, but I don't have a camera. I don't have the lighting. I don't have the right phone. I don't have power. So right now I'm plugged in at a friend's house property. And that's why I'm able to have a lamp so I can have light so you can see me. and um, yeah, so much has gone on.
So we saw you in, I want to say, October of 2019 You hung out with us a couple of days at that organic farm we were staying at. That was 2 years ago. So what have you been doing for 2 years? Traveling around?
No, no,
No.
it's COVID, dude. Lockdown. Stuck.
What's that? What the fuck is that?
Well, you know what? Actually, when it first started, it was like, and I'm sure many of our people were like, yay, it's happening. Freaking finally. Right. And like Magenta Pixie said, she called it the toilet paper apocalypse. And that's what I tell people. This is how amazing. First of all, apocalypse, the etymology, the root meaning of the word simply
Yeah.
means
Unveiling.
lift the veils, right? So I tell them this is the year 2020, clear vision, lifting the veils. It's the apocalypse, and how gentle of a way to bring humanity to its knees and a complete stop by little tiny exosome. You know,
Yeah.
it was brilliant. But of course, it's taken a turn for the worse. And, in the beginning, our country's leader was talking about unity and coming together. And we're like, yes. And
Who was this? What leader was this?
well,
Biden or Trump?
it was Mr. Trump was in power at the time. Anyway, so obviously things have shifted and changed. And we need to remember that the futures that we see is not necessarily what we want, but what we expect. So if people expect a zombie apocalypse, you're going to see a zombie apocalypse because that's how powerful we are. So people just don't understand how powerful we are. Right? So I want to share something with you because when we talked the first time, well, I wrote this poem actually in March of 2019. I just found it. I want to share with you.
Let's hear it.
It says, hang on, where are my glasses? We did this last time. This time I have my glasses. Okay, I'm but one of so many that came here not only to listen, but share with the masses this knowledge, this wisdom. The key to the universe is free and by far the tiniest spark in the middle of your heart. Pieces and fragments accessible still. Release and retrieve them, your heart it will fill. The mending and cracking, no room for fear, excitement and fullness as union draws near. That was it. That was it.
Very cool.
Do you want to hear another really good? Do you want to hear a twin flame poem?
Yeah. Sure.
All right. So I have been trying to figure out and decide what it is I'm supposed to be sharing with the group today. Whether it's my twin flame journey, non-journey, or this journey through trauma, collective trauma that we've all gone through, or what I'm trying to create, what we're all trying to create.
Right on.
What do I can see some comments here. This is cool.
Mm-hmm.
What do people want to hear about?
What's been happening? You've been in the state of Washington for 2 years since I've seen you. And what's been happening?
Okay, well, first of all, so my twin flame and I did not complete our agreement. And so literally 8 days after I let him go, I met somebody else, a soulmate, which I thought was miraculous. And so spent some time with this person, and it turned out to be a very valuable lesson in narcissistic abuse.
I met that person.
Yes, you did.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you did. And so I've been going through a lot of trauma and healing and a lot of hardship. And don't want to cry while I'm talking to you.
You can just be you.
I'm still healing, and we're all healing because we've all gone through a collective trauma. And it's funny because Lori Lodge, she said some time back, is humanity in an abusive relationship with its controllers? Absolutely. 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 So much so. There are, and I would like to have a conversation with somebody that has a little more education and background and training in these kinds, like psychological understanding of
You
what
mean
happens.
like interacting with narcissists?
Yeah, well, they're all over. And but guess what I found out by studying
But
this?
they are all over. They're every one of us, aren't they?
There are
We're all
five.
we're
There
all
are
narcissists.
5 different types of narcissists and 3 different types of level, like low, medium, high, which is why not everybody has the same experience and not everybody has the same types of stories to tell, the things that happen to them or how it affects them.
But
Because I know
but
somebody else that just got out of a relationship and they're right back into another one. And it's like,
right.
for me, of course, this relationship opened up my eyes to the fact that there are other narcissists in my life, quite a few of them. And it's like, oh, wow, my ex-husband was, and oh, my brother is, and oh, my daughter is. And it's like,
But I mean, it isn't ultimately every single one of us carrying narcissistic frequency. I mean,
sure,
anyone that makes a judgment is a narcissist. If you want to
no,
be technical,
no,
no,
no.
no,
A
no. Hear me.
narcissist by definition is,
Okay, but hear me out. Hear me out. If I make a judgment about another person and I say that person is this or that person is that,
yeah.
99 times out of 100, I'm saying that I am not what I'm saying they are.
Well, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
Opposites attract, right? So there are all these people in my life, all these instances in my life. And so clearly I'm the common denominator. So I was like, what is it in me that is
Right.
attracting these people to me? And it was codependency, right? And like empaths versus narcissists, there's
Mm-hmm.
this whole dynamic. And sure, there are aspects like I could, these people are not necessarily, and I can't define or diagnose anyone as a narcissist, but they've got narcissistic qualities or tendencies. And by knowing this and understanding this, you can recognize it and see the flags. And of course, you're talking about all fixing it within you, yes, but we're still having to relate with people in 3D. And so it's a matter of how do we do this dance? So I'm just learning on how to heal my own wounds so that I can, help more
But
people and
but
help people through this.
but one of the things that I think we've learned too is that if I'm attracting something over and over, it's active within me. It just may not come out
Mm-hmm.
the same. But like for instance, I notice it in myself and other people in these communities where like I say a lot, people saying that those people aren't awake. To me, that's narcissistic immediately because it creates a separation. It creates an us is this and they are that. So I think it's what you said about what Lori Latt said. I don't think we're in a relationship with a narcissistic relationship with our controllers because I don't believe in that shit. But I think we're in a narcissistic environment. We were in a codependent environment. We were in a narcissistic environment. We are both of those things. If you're codependent, you're in some level, some way, a narcissist in some
Okay.
way. I
Mm-hmm.
remember having a conversation with
That's
this
what I'm
really
seeing
beautiful.
is that we all have these tendencies into different degrees and scales within us. Like
Yeah.
the silent treatment is one form of narcissistic abuse, is to not speak to somebody. But I do that because I don't know what to say or how to say it, and I need to gather my thoughts. So I'm like, I'm just not even going to talk because I don't know what to say.
I guess what I'm saying is I don't think it's a bad word. I don't think it's a
Okay.
bad thing. I don't think it's a bad word. I think it's part of our reality.
Yeah.
See, I remember having this conversation with a really beautiful sister in Hawaii. Really, I'm talking like just an absolutely 100% 24/7 love and light. I mean, but real, and had her own extraordinary story. And she was telling me about her partner and that they were a narcissist. And I said, and she couldn't understand why she kept attracting this type of thing, right? And I said, well, do you see yourself as them? And she said, no. And I said, well, the way I get it, that's therein lies the rub. Until you see that person as you. And I know that's not easy, and I'm not saying that you just do it. I'm just saying that the bottom line is it's all us, and it's just part of this program. It's part of this patriarchal thing, which is a narcissistic.
Our entire culture, we emulate them. Now, a narcissist, by definition, I mean, it depends on who you ask, but if you look back, it's basically a wounded 4-year-old. But there's so, ultimately, and there's, again, different types, different levels, different kinds. Like a communal narcissist could be like a priest or a pastor. Everybody loves them. But in a personal one-on-one relationship, could be completely abusive. Something different. Anyway, so back when, I think it was 2019, Amanda Lawrence said that there was going to be a separation between light workers are going to go to 5D train and some were going to stay back on 3D. Yeah, I ended up staying back on 3D and learning these lessons. But it's funny because I didn't know what was happening to me. And everything that I was experiencing, I would see the next day in the collective in a massive way. And, and I'm talking about the anger when everybody's on lockdown. They're like, oh, this Corona shit. I mean, I watched a man hit his wife. They've been married for 10 years. He'd never, ever done that, but he lost it, and people have just gone to the brink. And so I was going through this stuff. The good thing about the lockdown for me is as soon the day, it was March 11th, they locked down. The next day I was able to get my son and bring him to live with us. So we were living at a
I remember seeing that you posted.
Well, that's why I didn't want to go live, because I was trying to get back into the whole, custody lawyer judge court thing, and it wasn't happening. But I was really, really so happy to have him with us again. And we're living in 3 tents. And outside of the bus is like the bathroom and the kitchen and my closet, basically. But it was really great. It was really good for him. He learned, we got chickens, we got ducks, we built a permaculture garden. Then we had to move because the owner was a little, and we
narcissistic.
Exactly. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, and I didn't even realize that at the time, or know it at the time, or understand it at the time. But with all of this studying that I've done, all this mental health therapy that I've done, and literally taken classes on narcissism and somatic healing and other ways of healing, because talk therapy doesn't necessarily always help with this, since most, like 90% of therapists don't really have a whole lot of training in this. It's like a different beast, narcissistic abuse. And also because it usually starts in childhood.
But I mean, it is.
It's part of what has kept us small.
It's in all of our lives.
Yes.
It's in all of our lives. We've all been a narcissist, whether we want to admit it or not. And if you can't admit you haven't, if you can't admit you have been a narcissist, you haven't
been a narcissist, but you have narcissistic tendencies.
Well, okay, it's the same thing. If I have an interaction with you one time, and I'm narcissistic, I'm a narcissist. So all I'm saying is that every one of us has been a narcissist in this life. You can't tell me that there's a person on the face of the earth that hasn't looked at somebody and said, I'm better than them. Or it's okay.
Not about being better than them, Todd. Well, a narcissist is a hurt, injured person.
Well, it's a person that says it's okay for me to do this, but not okay for you. That's narcissistic. Okay. That's one example of narcissism. Narcissism is based on somebody believing they are better than somebody else. Right? I mean, no? All right. So a narcissist is just an asshole.
They think they're never wrong. They are hurt. They're
So does that mean that
there's a
means that they?
facade. It's a facade because really they're very insecure.
Yeah,
And I think deep down, all they really want is love. But
of
in the
course.
psychological mental health community, there's a question as to whether or not a true narcissist, a real narcissist, can even heal ever. Like they're saying, forget it, don't even try.
Well, that comes from the finite atmosphere of the intellect with no infinite intelligence involved. But I'm just saying that
Right.
I think the big, whether it's narcissism or whether it's any other an ideology, philosophy, a way of life, cultural, religious, we all have embedded in us a belief that, depending on who we're talking to or what we're looking at, that we were better or worse than that. And to me, narcissist, for me to say, what was the example you just gave? Oh, that I'm always right. That's narcissistic.
Mhm.
All right. Anytime you're in a debate or you make a post and you say you
Oh,
need to do
yes.
this or you
They're
have to do
perfect.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you need to do this, you need to do this. You have to do that. I don't have to do shit. Don't tell me what I need to do. That's a narcissistic thing. And even for my comeback, that's narcissistic for me to go, who do you think you are? You know, that's why I say there's something going on with judgment, that these superficial symptomatic things, these characteristics, these attributes of narcissism are part of the environment of being in judgment. Judgment, as in, uh, judgment to me is like, lesser than, more than.
Right. Well, my focus isn't so much at pointing out who is a narcissist and who isn't, but is to heal the person that has been hurt and the trauma, because it's emotional and mental abuse is worse than physical abuse. And I didn't even know that. And I didn't understand that. So it's literally worse than physical abuse. They are wounds you cannot heal. They do something to the mental body. They disconnect you from some of your other
They disconnect you.
connections. The narcissistic abuse events disconnect. Anyway, trauma, a traumatic event.
I
So
get
this
it. Yeah,
narcissistic abuse is considered complex PTSD.
I get it. I've been
Very,
there.
very
I
aligned or
totally
very
relate.
close
Yeah.
to it, right? So
Yeah.
I believe that this happened to me so that I could see it, understand it, and now I understand why there are so many people that have these mental issues, because they're not healed from something as simple as being raised by a narcissist. Not simple. It's actually quite catastrophic, but it's all about us healing and growing and identifying what in us needs to shift.
Yeah.
And, so the narcissists, they need to work on their own self, but they don't think anything is wrong, so they never do.
But this is the thing. This is where I'm at with this. Okay. And I see my friend Sue Baxter Fitz says, if you've been in a relationship with a narcissist, you wouldn't call everybody a narcissist. I get what you're saying, but what I'm trying to say is this, and Jen just said it. There is no separation.
Mhm.
So you have a father.
Well, there is no in 5D. You're right. In 5D, there is no separation. It is unity
And what's
consciousness.
keeping us from 5D, but what we are believing in ourselves and of each other? If I look at somebody else and say, this person is that, this person is this, and I don't include myself in that group that I'm identifying them with, that's separation. The separation begins and ends with me. So when I look at the narcissistic thing, I go, there's something deeper than that. There's something deeper there. If I'm raised by a
Yeah, it's
father,
all within me. Absolutely.
yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if I'm raised by a father, he's a religious man, he's a devout Baptist. I'm making this up. He's a devout Southern Baptist. He takes me to church every day. I'm 15 years old. I get a car, get a job, start smoking pot, drinking beer, and I'm the devil to him. Okay. He's a fucking narcissist. Okay. I, by the same token, I'm going to be taking on this attitude, which I actually did this. I mean, where, hey, the establishment is inferior. They don't know what they're talking about. Like I guess what I'm trying to say is the codependent environment that we all came out of, that every one of us was involved in, is all about narcissism. It's all about the symptoms or the characteristics of narcissism, like control, um, like you said, always being right and not being able to express yourself and so on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, anyway, so I've had people reach out to me for help and healing, and I was so depleted after a year and a half of this. And I mean, I was before. Yeah, it was even before COVID hit. I was suicidal again.
You were.
Yeah. And I reached out for therapy, and I asked the therapist, I need to know if I'm in an abusive relationship because something is not right. And they couldn't really answer me. And then 6 months later, I'm like, this is not right. Things are not right. And so it's a lot of it is that the mental health community has not been trained a lot in this specifically, or how to identify it. Anyway, my whole point is it had to do with learning how to heal myself. And then I experienced a not good experience in the motel where I was staying, and it had to do with COVID funding. And the manager was trying to literally bust the door down and get into the motel room to the point where I had to call the police. And I was so scared.
What the hell?
They were going to send an ambulance for me because I was like
tripping.
Oh, it's not good.
Wow. How'd you pull out of that?
I still am.
You still are.
I still am.
Yeah.
That's when I started having PTSD symptoms. And talking to a counselor once a week wasn't good. And I could call a crisis line, but it's kind of hard to tell the whole dang story all over again, right? And so really what helped me and what I tell other people is I looked on YouTube and I found chakra or crystal healing bowls, chakra healing bowls. And they went through all 7 chakras, and just the root chakra. I know that it's all about fear and instability, and your root chakra is being ungrounded. And so I've recommended to people, I started playing it for myself. And as soon as it would get through the second one, I would fall asleep. So I would play it as I was sleeping, or I would play it as I went into a bath.
The singing bowls. Singing bowls.
Yeah, because it's the frequency. So they're doing the root chakra, balancing it, right? And it immediately balances you. And so at least I learned that I knew that sound therapy would help. So I can recommend that to people. And so I realized even if I'm not on the top of my game and I can't help people, I can still recommend things to help people, right? Point them in the right direction. So things like that, and self-care. I'm trying to be a self-care ninja. That's going to be my new thing. Self-care ninja. And for me, it was lots of baths, Epsom salt baths, and being in water.
This is all the COVID period, right?
Yeah, this was just recently.
2020, 2021.
So although my son and I were in a motel room for several months, it was always like you apply for funding and then you don't know if you're going to get it, and you don't know if you're going to get it, and then you're like, okay, we'll get it, but you might have to get kicked out. And so it was like every month we didn't know if we were going to be there or not be there. You just can't settle. You can't ground, you can't relax. And if you're not in a balanced place, you're not going to create things from a good balanced foundation, right?
It F's up your frequency, right?
Yes.
And it clogs your creativity too, doesn't it?
It closed my third eye, Todd. Trauma shut it off. It's coming back, but and I don't quite understand it all. There's a lot to learn in energy medicine, but that can vary. The mental body can very much affect the other layer of what you're able to receive. I'm sure there's people on here that understand all that stuff. But anyway, so like playing these meditations, I can't do that if I don't have Wi-Fi, and if I'm in the bus and I'm going to use my data, or my phone battery is going to die and I don't have a way of charging it. So those kinds of things I can't maintain while I'm on my own. You know, and if I'm plugged in somewhere, then I can. It's better. It's easier. So things are really shifting though, and it's up in the air and it's crazy. One of my wake up thoughts was Laguna Beach. I'm like, oh, am I supposed to go to Laguna Beach? Who do I know in Laguna Beach? Right. And Jen, I ended up connecting with her. She's not there anymore, I don't think, or back and forth. And so I'm not sure still if I'm supposed to go or not. I would really, really, really like some sunshine, but yeah, I don't have an income. So I did just start a Patreon. It's my name. It's 3 Feathers for Raquel Trevino, my Patreon. If anybody would like to support me on there, that's great. I haven't been able to, and I wrote this beautiful long thing like for an hour, and then my finger just like swiped the
I
laptop
hate that.
mouse pad and it disappeared. It was just gone, and it's taken me months to get into that flow. It was just come in, I was writing, and then poof, gone. So I still have yet to fill that out, but I did start the page. I posted some posts, my the wake up thoughts that the Arcturian Council give me. So some of that's collective information. Like I would like to share something with you right now.
Okay.
Because this was really good. There is a power of balance coming. Or because it was the Arcturians, it could have been there is a balance of power coming, or there's a power or an energy of balance coming to the planet. Either way. And I don't know if you remember, but back when I had told you that I could see like what looked like, how do I do this? An inverted pyramid coming down, meeting a pyramid here, and the inverted pyramid was coming down, and then it would flip and come inside and create a third energy, right? And gosh, I wonder how far back that is. I saw this trying
So
to.
is that an octahedron? If it flips, so you have a pyramid above, pyramid below.
Yeah, so when they join, they make that. Yeah,
that's octahedron.
Exactly. There was a time when I was seeing this, and it totally coincided with what was going on the planet with everything. What I was seeing was the pyramid coming down, and it's that in my representation was the divine feminine coming to unite with the divine masculine. And I have seen that for years. But what I was seeing was the pyramid coming down and literally like going off. It couldn't land on it. It couldn't join with it. It would it kept doing this. And it was the bottom pyramid that was doing it. It was not letting it join. And then when, seriously, my third eye, I saw the pyramid or the triangle unopen itself, grab the other one. It turned into like a spider, and it
slapped
grabbed
the shit out of it. Plap.
It grabbed the bottom pyramid, which was like a volcano, and it just like it planted a seed, or it did, it was like the divine feminine energy was not taking it. It was like, this is happening whether you like it or not. Boom. And I wish I could find the date. I'll post that for you later if you want. But it was reflected again in the micro, and the macro. Pretty amazing.
So you've been doing the work. I mean, you've been stripped down.
Yeah.
You've gone in deep.
Yeah, I'm still kind of there. But what I'm looking for, and what I find that is happening right now, is people are they're coming together, and we're finding our tribes, right? Because I'm very isolated. I'm very alone. I'm very private.
Yeah.
So I don't like to. I just don't. Anyway, I want to show you this.
All right.
Oh, can we mirror my
No.
Hang on.
No, it won't mirror. No. So it says star. There it is. How did you do that? How'd you do that?
The settings button, if you hit settings on the bottom, it says mirror camera. There's a button.
I'll be damned. That's new. That
Can you
wasn't
make
there
it bigger?
before.
So can it fit the whole thing on there?
I just want to see where mirrored camera goes. Where did you see that?
Under settings?
Yeah, but I guess it's only for you. Oh, there it is. I see it. Okay, hang on. I'm going to just do this.
It's a
Oh,
toggle.
yeah. There we go. Cool. That's new, by the way. Yeah, I can make this bigger. Boom.
Okay, cool.
Oh, wrong way. Wrong way. Hang on.
So let me
Hang on.
start this by saying in 2014, I received the org chart, the organizational chart for a holistic healing and living center. And it's a circle, not a pyramid. So if you've heard of circle management, so this is
Concentric circles.
what I called Ayurveda house. So the wisdom council in the middle there, people from the permaculture circle sit on there, somebody from the holistic healing medicine sit on there, somebody from house hospitality sits on there. So everybody knows what everybody's doing. The meetings are with everyone. The circle leads can go tell their departments. It's like a department meeting, but the council, the wisdom council, they all have an equal vested input and interests in the thing. It's the new way. So then 4 years later came the actual layout of this property. And this is very huge. I'm sharing this with everybody because I don't own it. It's from Spirit. And I think it was Z Earthstar that said it was a type 2 indigo service contract to build these holistic healing centers. So like, for example, and I'm sharing this because if people are into that, let's do something. This is the parking lot, right? So I've got here music, sound, vibrational healing, concerts, performances. This is reception parking for classes, event parking. This is the main building, the main space, which is the reception area. In here, we've got main space and mingle for dances, for indoor theater seminars. There's classrooms. Up here is the care clinic. So this is the holistic healing care clinic area. These are treatment consultant rooms. Here is care clinic housing. Here's individual care clinic temporary care housing. And then here's individual housing, because when you're healing, sometimes you want a private space to cry a lot and really loud. So you can have your own yurt, your own heart structure. This is a bus and an RV. People will come and park. Practitioners can live here. So these are like individual dwellings. And here we've got yoga studios, common unity dining room, art room, classroom. Here are gardens, orchards, bees, barn, chickens, ducks. That might be closer here. Quiet contemplation, meditation, tai chi, qigong, yoga, pranayama.
Is this something that you're working on?
This is something like the org chart that came at like 3:30 in the morning. It was just like a download. I just started drawing it and doing it. And the next day I was like, whoa. And this was like, it's coming. And I'm like, okay, we're going to need this. We're going to need that. But like, honestly, I forgot ducks and chickens, and I forgot bees and children, really. I was like, where are the children going to be? So I put them over here with the gardens and the yoga and the kitchen so they can learn how to take care of the ducks. And so I was an outdoor kitchen and an indoor kitchen and dining room. So this would be kitchen and permaculture housing. Each individual one is either a home. I don't know if you can see that very well. It's kind of faint. And then out here, you've got the circle leads, the overseer, and the parking for kitchen and permaculture parking here. So this is like huge.
It's
and down
well
here we have fire, drum circle, ceremony, and a stage, an outdoor stage. So here there's the musician and builder housing in this area. And here we've got the fire tender ceremony, a guest VIP. Let's say we have an elder come from a tribe that wants to do a ceremony here for us so they can stay out there. So yeah, I'm sure I haven't thought of everything. And of course, this isn't laid in stone. It's just an option, and the land will determine the layout, of course. But And
So
it's
are you actively like looking for collaborators? Or
um
because I mean it's so different the way things are moving now that just things happen organically. Or do you feel like it's just going to present itself, or what do you think?
it's hard to say. Like right now, I just met a man. I didn't meet a man. I was directed to him because he houses people on his property. He has 22 acres
Hmm.
out here, and he buys RVs and hooks them up and rents them out to people. And the land is an abandoned missile silo.
Really?
So it's got some funky energy there,
It
right?
must. It must
But
have some underground tunnels too, I would imagine.
um
Maybe they're not known.
there's an underground space because that's where they kept the missiles, and then there's a launch pad up on top in the concrete.
God,
I mean,
that's
I've seen
crazy.
all of that, but literally the thing, there's this great big square hole in the ground in the concrete, and you look down and there's like a square pool full of rainwater and algae right now. But how cool would that be to turn that into a koi pond? And in there, since it's all concrete, to do
How
a sound bath healing would be amazing.
have you
And
talked to this guy? Have you talked to this guy?
that would shift the energy. Well, here's the funny thing. He goes, and I showed him this layout, right, that I just showed you. And he said, "Oh, the owner before me wanted to do something like that here." And then I was like, And he he was going to fix one up that I was going to be able to rent. I was awarded through the state rent so I could get balanced and get healthy. And then he disappeared, and he was really, really sick. And like for 4 days, I didn't hear from him, and I was expecting to hear from him. And every day, nothing. And then finally he said, "I'm very, very sick." And I know he was going in for his third booster shot. So I don't know if that's why he was sick or anything. And we haven't been able to get a hold of him. So I thought maybe that's not going to happen after all. Maybe that's falling through because I'm supposed to go to the sunshine. I'm not sure. Still trying to figure that out and follow guidance, right? So I think people are coming together. I've got a number of people that are like, "Oh yeah, we want to do that. We want to do that. Where's the land?" Because nobody has a whole lot of money to buy it, but it could be gifted to us. It could just show up. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I think a lot of this seems to be happening organically. Like
Yeah,
that seems.
and these kind of centers are going to be all over the place because they're for healing. And now, my intention was for people to be able to come there for 2 or 3 weeks for free and just be submersed in the sound, music, and the vibration. And every day there's going to be 3 meals served, same time every day. There's going to be yoga every day. There's going to be meditation every day. There's going to be pranayama, all of these things so that they're immersed in it and can immediately start to balance and heal. And then if they want to stay on and live there, they can maybe work in the gardens. They could work in the care clinic, like an exchange. But depending on the rent, is there going to be rent? Is there, I don't
No, there's
I don't
not
know
going to
how,
be rent.
5D
There's not
commerce,
going to be.
right?
There's not going to be. I don't think there is. I
Yeah.
don't see. I don't see how that's going to work.
Well, and things that all of us are creative or have gifts and abilities to share. I make things that I can sell. And this whole place, if we've got 15 chickens, we're going to have 60 eggs a day. We can sell those, not 60 eggs a day, a week. We'll have a lot. You know what I'm saying? Ducks lay 2 eggs a day.
Whoa. So have you run into any people that want to do this type of thing?
Yeah, everybody's like, count me in, count me in. But,
That's
there's,
different.
yeah,
I get those all the time. I
yeah,
get them in the form of suggestion. You should do this on your show. You should do that on your show. I got one the other day. Was like, you should. It was very detailed, and I thought, well, grab a broom and start sweeping.
right.
I mean, there is an element of action, but I think right now we're like, it seems like we're aligning in thought. Like it's the thoughts that begin everything. And that's why I
Mhm.
go back to like even talking about codependency or narcissism. It's this thing that we have here that we send out in a quantum manner, like as a quantum creator, that's actually affecting and taking away from what we want. And we're responsible. Like if I think Joe Biden's a complete fucking idiot and he's controlled by some, high level, malevolent, whatever, then I'm feeding that. I'm perpetuating that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not an easy gig for us. I mean, I think this is part of what this big event is actually being in what I can only say describe as, and I know it sounds, but like consciously applying everything we've learned to ourselves. Being responsible for what thoughts we're sending out. I don't know.
Absolutely. And not just the thought, but the emotion, the feeling behind the thought, whether it's fear or disgust or love, bliss and joy, right?
Yeah.
It's that, and amplifying that.
Have you had any like substantial change in frequency since the middle of October? Like, I mean, it just seems like the hammer, the shoe fell. I mean, the hammer dropped. I mean, it's just been like full blown. November was a whirlwind.
Well, for me, every day is a whirlwind. For me, every month is a whirlwind. But yeah, it's been up and down and unknown and what's happening. I've been back in the bus for 5 months now, and I'm like, I'm at the point where I'm starting to get hurt. I'm injuring myself because I can't do yoga and I can't stretch, and I'm not, yoga detoxes the body. It does more than just for your muscles. But I had a iliopsoas sacroiliac joint sprain where I could, just from sitting all the time, because that's your hip flexor, right? Just from sitting all the time and not being able to. Half the time I'm just standing here, but like the bus moves and it's raining outside. It's not like I can go put out a picnic blanket and stretch out anymore. But it's funny because this trauma made it so that I couldn't go outside.
Right. You had to be alone. Right.
Well,
In your
even being alone
space.
outside, it was very hard for me to go outside the bus. Once I'd get somewhere, I'd just stay in the bus.
Really? Yeah. So your bus, obviously, if you look at the energy of your bus, it's full of, it's full of good energy. I mean, it's
people
is
say
that
it's
not
like walking into a different world, a whole different energy and everything.
Do you feel like you created a portal?
I am a portal.
Yes, I agree.
I create sacred space, Todd. Anywhere and everywhere that I am and I can, I try to create sacred space. And
so
it's funny.
Your bus is a sacred space.
Well, yeah. I mean, literally, if you have a couple of crystals and you have a picture of Buddha or Jesus or something, it's a sacred space.
No, I agree. I'm saying that as a statement.
So you can clear it and clear the energy, but I only have good people in here usually. So yeah, I want to do the Matilda Chronicles and interview people on the road because we have the most amazing conversations in here, and it is a very high frequency. You're right. It's fun. It's very cool.
Right on. Have you had any animal encounters while you've been out and about?
I had a frog that was a hitchhiker on my bus.
What? What
My
happened?
son found him outside. So on the bus has a wheelchair ramp. So it's got these other sets of doors that we never open. And up on top of the door, he could see the little foot. He saw the frog and he goes, oh my God, what is that? And he opened the door and it fell out and it hopped under the bus and he took pictures of it. And the next day it was back. And then we went to the park and it was there. It went on field trips with us.
So it disembarked and reboarded.
Yeah. And went back up to the same space. But it was outside, but on the bus.
That wasn't a frog. That wasn't a frog.
Well, frog is one of my main totems.
I was going to say there's something more to it than that.
Frog is one of my main totems. It's all about transformation and adaptability and working with emotions, going from land or water to land, right? So it's a good medicine. That and butterfly.
Yeah, butterflies are cool.
Oh, I should have hung up back there in the corner behind all those blankets. I've got my that 5-foot copper wind chime. So when I'm settled, I don't have to move the bus every 2 days. I'll hang it up from in here, you know.
I remember that. You showed it to me.
I did?
Do you remember? Yeah. It's a big, wasn't it you that showed me that? It was like, yeah, I think it was you.
I don't
It was
know.
like a big wind chime, a big giant wind chime.
Yeah. Copper
Yeah. Yeah.
with a butterfly.
Yeah. I don't remember the butterfly, but I remember you showing me that thing.
Uh,
So what do you where do you think you're going to head? What are you feeling? What are you feeling about 2022?
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's good. I don't
I have
either.
no idea. I'm just waiting for things to turn around, and but they are. Um, People are coming together, and I think right now a lot of what's going on in the collective is well, there's different parts, right? There's people that are healing, and there's people that are creating. I know that I'm up next,
Meaning what?
if that makes sense. Well, since Corona hit, and we've had these light workers and way showers kind of carrying everything right now,
Yeah.
and then they're going to need to rest. Do you know what I mean? And then there's going to be another group that's going to be able to take over and carry, and then they're going to need to rest because, you know, you guys have been doing all this work all this time. I'm sure you're still fine. But for me, for
Is
those of us
anybody
that
fine?
went into 3D, we're trying to come back up out of 3D. And
I don't even know. I see it all the same. Judy Baker, she's in Washington. Judy lives in Montana. She's got some nice property out there. She was asking where you're at.
I'm in Olympia, but I've been in Burien and West Seattle, and over in Jefferson County, and the Hood Canal Bridge is the most amazing place. Did you see the post of what I put on there when I cleaned up that beach?
No.
So one of the most amazing places, there's a little state park called Shine Tideland State Park. And there's the Hood Canal Bridge. The Hood Canal Bridge is a bridge that opens to let submarines go through.
Far out.
Yeah. I've seen some shit. Anyway, so there's this little strip of county land between the bridge and the state park. And on that county land, you can park overnight. So I parked down there one night because I needed a place to go. Somebody told me about it. And I went and I parked there. And of course, you can hear the bridge. So all night it was like, da-dum, 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 da-dum. But to me, it's like train tracks. I could just sleep through it, right? And I woke up to the most beautiful water and land. And I mean, there's dolphins or porpoises and gorgeous. And then there's all this trash on the road, on the road. And I'm like, God, why do people disrespect the mother so much? And so I start picking up trash. And I'm picking up the trash, and here comes a state trooper. And I go, hey, I'm picking up all this trash. I think I have a big black bag in the bus. Do you think, is there a trash can there in the park? Can I put it over there? And he goes, oh, there's no trash can. He goes, we had one, but it got filled up with house trash. So we took it away. And I went, well, it sounds like you need a bigger can. It's better than out here. And he goes, oh, then it would just get filled up. And I'm like, it's better than out here or out there in the water, right? So I'm thinking that's old energy. We don't want to solve somebody else's problem. Where the new energy is just solve the damn problem.
Right.
I picked up this trash, and while I'm doing it, I'm thinking, man, I love cleaning up the planet. I love making sacred space. Why can't I get paid for this? Right? So then I cleaned it all up, and there's these great big rocks where you park up by the rocks, right? And on one of the rocks in bright yellow paint, I put pack it in, pack it out. Really neat, really nicely stenciled. Pack it in, pack it out. TY for thank you. And then I painted later on the planet right underneath that. And while I'm painting it, and I've got my little blanket and my speaker and my crystal bowl music or whatever I was playing. and somebody, this man walked by with a dog, and he said something to me, and I said, "Hey," and I go, "You see all that trash all around here?" And he looks and he goes, "Yeah." And I go, "No, you don't, because I just picked it all up. That's why I'm painting this sign right here." He's like, "Okay." And he goes me for a walk. He comes back. He gives me $100.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa. And because, he was bothered by the trash, but he never picked it up. Right? But he was
Well,
great.
more importantly, you
Somebody did.
energetically. Yeah.
Yes, it energetically fixed the
And
space.
I think you can get quote unquote paid for,
I
like in
know.
this
Well, what
example,
I was
picking it.
thinking, this is a county road. Should I sign up for the county? And I'm like, no, I don't want to have to punch a clock. It's very hard for me right now to be anywhere at a specific time because I don't know if the bus is going to start, or I've got to get ice, or it's melted, or there's mold, or something's happened. It's just like, it's like way too much for me right now. And but as I was painting the rock, and this guy comes and he gives me $100. I'm like, and it was like the universe saying, you can get paid for this. Isn't that awesome? I thought that was so awesome.
Well, you did get paid for this, and I think that's another thing that's happening. That our efforts are being reciprocated, but just not in the old ways.
There is actually a Marine grant I would love to apply for, and again, it's like those things of the universe. Somebody was like, oh, like a company, organization, whatever. They were like, we'll help you get your resume together so you can do this, or put a good package together just to get the grant, and then they move to another company. And this is the kind of thing that's happening. There's like promises and maybes, and then they disappear. So I don't know if it's all my doing, if I'm creating my reality.
Of course.
Okay, but here's this. We're supposed to have this show on Thanksgiving Day, right? But we rescheduled. And so I'm at this place where I've got a signal. I make sure I get an extended Wi-Fi thing, and I've got that power so I can have the light on. And I go to my laptop, I open up my laptop, and then I go to move it, and the screen goes black. And that's happened before. And so I close it and turn it on, and it will normally come back on. It's only a year old. And it's happened a few times, and it would not come back on. And I'm like, am I not supposed to do this interview with Todd today? Am I just supposed to use my phone? Is this a mosquito? And I always call them mosquitoes when there's something that seems like it's about to sabotage you, or your mood, or your day, or your project, your plan. Is this a mosquito? And I call it a mosquito because you can make that a big freaking deal, spend all your energy trying to catch the mosquito, right? Or you can ignore it and it goes away. It'll bite you and it'll go away. So I was trying to figure out what the heck this was. And then my friend whose land this is, he brought his computer. We were going to try and hook it up. And then I just opened mine again and it's on. It worked.
Right on.
Yeah. But
so how long are you going to be in the spot you're in? Do you know?
Just today, just tonight. I mean,
I get you.
Well, right now I just came out here to see this place. I need a bathtub, Todd.
A bathtub. Yeah.
I need water. A shower would be nice, but a bathtub, it's a healing session for me. It's a 2 or 3 hour deal. So, yeah, I need a place. So even in another RV, there's not enough room for me to move around and do my yoga or dance or anything.
Judy Baker said to come through the Bitterroot. She's in, I think they call it Bitterroot Lake or Bitterroot Valley or something.
Okay, there's one thing I want to share with you. Because, well, I should share it with you. So back in, I think it was March of this year, and I wasn't able to start yet, but my divine directive right now is literally to dance in random parking lots to shift the energy. Kind of like grocery store parking lots where people are out by their cars for a few minutes. To be playing this high vibrational music, and what I do is shift energy, and the people that are drawn to me to hand them a flyer that we're going to have another dance, a bigger dance in a state park here or anywhere, because I think this is going to be mobile, to shift the energy in the park, because most of the parks up here are all about war. There's missile silos and abandoned yada yada, Fort Warden, Fort this, Fort that, right? All of our parks, they all took over the, right? So it's to shift that energy from war to love. And so by moving in this ecstatic dancing, we move all the trauma and all the blockages, and we're able to release that from our body in a somatic way. And you've heard of ecstatic dance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's another organization, I think, called Groove with Grief,
Mm-hmm.
that I want to, my friend actually, Julie, has a lot to do with that. She's a DJ. So, but this is what I want to do, but I don't have a way to play the music. I have a little speaker like this. I don't even have a stereo on the bus. I don't have music on the bus. I wanted to put an outdoor speaker, like a marine speaker,
Yeah.
so I could
Yeah.
play music, roll up somewhere, play the music, do the thing. And so I would love to have sponsorship for that. That's why I started the Patreon account, was for people to be able to support me through that, because I need gas is a big thing. Yeah, look,
You're doing it.
I'm going to show you this. So then, hang on, let me just put this back. This is, can you see this?
I am Hugh Dance.
Yes.
You are me. Yeah.
I am Hugh, you dance. You are me. So this is, where is it? Right here's the mirror, right? You are me. And the planet.
Yeah.
Right there.
Mm.
And this, the H, is the divine feminine and masculine. You can't see it, I don't think, on the camera, but there's, I took a pen. She's wearing a little tiny dress made out of stars and has long hair, and he's wearing a tuxedo. So this is the king and queen. And the Hugh is from human, right? It's not human, woman. It's Hugh. I am Hugh,
Right.
you. I am you. You are me. So, and that's the Cocapelli.
Mm.
And here's the other sign.
This is my God
job.
Very cool. You should do that.
Right?
Start pulling up in parking lots, even if you got a shitty speaker, and just go for it. See what happens.
Well, I would want to, yeah. Well, I need to either have somebody with me. I need to have more. I'm not ready yet. Otherwise, I would have done it.
Well, whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready. It's good seeing you again.
Yeah, you too.
You've been hitting it for 2 straight years. Huh?
3 feathers. Raquel Trevino is my Patreon. If anybody would like to please support me that way. And then for my top tier donators, I should tell you this. For my top tier donators, I have I'm going to be sending a gift, something that I've made, an art piece, either a talking stick or a feather smudger, or I make these really cool little seashells with pebbles in it. And they're from the ocean. And anyway, so for my top tier subscribers, I will send you a one-of-a-kind gift made from me. Yeah.
Right on. Wish you the best with that. Hang in there. Stay optimistic.
Well, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What's the deal with the bus? Are you going to be working that out and traveling, or?
I have no idea. I can only see in this moment, and that's it. Am I going to be traveling? I don't know. I have no idea. I've been stationary for the longest period of time in quite a few years. So I'd like to get out there and beat the bushes, but I got things that I'm working on doing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The bus is just, yeah.
Train time. So that was another one of the wake up thoughts, was that it's train time. And like 4 years ago, I had the thought to like caravan
Yeah.
one bus, one RV, or several cars,
Yeah.
going from place to place and holding these events. That was the idea.
Yeah.
But now I want to get this stuff on courses online, like medicine for the mobile and certain things like that I want to be able to share with the masses, and how to ground. That's so important right now because people are so ungrounded still and very anxious and very nervous. And so teach people how to ground and how to do that if you can't go outside. I think that's going to be my niche is right now. So
Well, keep hitting it. I appreciate
thanks.
what you're doing.
More love
And
to you and Morgan.
you just keep doing what you're doing. All blessings to you and your kid and all your loved ones and all your endeavors.
Thank you. Yeah, he's staying with another family because there's not enough room here in the bus. So he's
That'll be
19.
nice.
Yeah, he's not
That's
little,
cool.
but it's all good.
Well, you
All
take
right. Well,
care.
thank you so much.
You take
Bye.
care.